Welcome to part 2. Oh my gosh, I didn't put out a video for a number of weeks and now I have 2 in 1 week. This is what it is. This is the inspiration that's coming from Dr. Kandel, though. He is so amazing, such an amazing individual. And we're talking about the 5 things that you can do to help prevent and keep it off as long as you can, age-related memory loss, which is different from Alzheimer's. For those of you who might not know and might be curious about that, go back and listen to part 1 of this week's video, and then you'll get a feeling for who Eric Kandel is, and you'll understand this video a lot better. So go and take a look at part 1, but we're going to continue on here in part 2. So, learning new cognitive tasks. That was number 5. So this means learn a new skill. Learn if you don't know to do something with your car, you don't know to change the spark plugs, learn how to do it. So, though you might forget, what was my password again? What was my username for this website? I completely forgot. That's okay. Okay, that's not a cognitive task. A cognitive task is learning how to navigate the website, learning how to turn on the computer, how to get there, how to use shortcuts on your computer. Okay, all of these amazing things. And I know I'm focusing on technology a little bit, but there's a load of other things. Grow a new kind of plant that you've never known how to grow before, okay? Learn how to do stuff like that. Get a pet. That's a new cognitive task, isn't that right, Yogi? Yogi agrees. Right? Get a pet. That is a great new cognitive task. There's a number of ways that you could creatively look at it, but learn new skills, learn new things. And it's not just new knowledge to put in your brain, but a new skill to do. So those are the 5 things Dr. Kandel expressed as 5 important things to help stave off and to prevent some age-related memory loss from running amok in your life when you are still young, you're still vibrant. This is how you do it. And of course, this has nothing to do with if you're going to get Alzheimer's disease later on, but it is a great way to keep your memory and brain in a healthy shape, such that you are prepared for the aging process in the best way possible. And Dr. Kandel is exemplary of that. I mean, he was saying, my old office, it was by the pool, and I would be in the pool swimming, doing exercise 5 days a week. Every day I taught. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I was in the pool at that student athletic center in Columbia University in New York, and I would be exercising. He's 89, okay? If he's out there doing it, what's my excuse? Okay, and he is such an inspiration for what he's doing. And I was privileged enough to ask him a couple of questions. And his answers, I think, are inspirational no matter what field you might be in. Whether you're in science, or you're a baker, or you're an engineer, or you're a teacher, or no matter who you are in this world, I hope you get as inspired from these words as I was. So the first thing is, for all my graduate students out there, for all those people in professional degrees who are furthering their education, or anyone furthering their education, the first thing Dr. Kandel said, I said, Dr. Kandel, and for those of you who might not be in any of those programs, but might be struggling to find what to do in your life. I don't know what profession I want to get into. I have no idea. This is what Dr. Kandel said. He said, I don't think it's particularly bad that for graduate students that you don't have a thesis yet or anything like that. He says, I don't think it's a big sin to not know what it is that you're going to do. In some ways, it's actually good because it means you're giving it some thought, okay? This is what he said. He says, there's too much emphasis placed on not knowing something. And he says, that's okay. That means you're giving it some thought, you're giving it some heart into it. And he says, don't take too long, but make sure you're giving it proper consideration. And when considering something what he would consider properly, he says, ask yourself 2 questions when you're thinking about what to do. Do you love it? Okay, first thing. You gotta love it. You have to have a passion for it. But just importantly, Dr. Kandel said, just as importantly as loving it, is it trivial? Okay? He He said, don't do anything that is trivial. And by trivial, my interpretation of what he means as trivial is something that's trivial is something that only benefits you. Okay? Don't do something that only benefits you. Do something that benefits everyone. Okay? That benefits a wider community of people. So, don't do something just because you love it. Do it because it has a greater meaning and a greater purpose to things. Whether you're a teacher, you're affecting future generations. Whether you're a baker, you're providing nutrition and health and wellness and all of these things, and a work environment for employees and all of these great things. So it doesn't mean that just, I have to do something that seems worthwhile. A mailman provides a good, it doesn't prevent, does do a important job. We gotta get our mail somehow. We're not all on email. How do you think the Amazon packages end up at your door? Okay? We still need, and that's what, it might be a silly example, but this is the point. Do something that you love and make sure that it's worthwhile doing. These are two very, very important things to consider when looking at what am I going to do in the future. Pick something that you love and pick something that is important, that helps this world, that helps a community, that helps someone else other than just yourself. Because that's how things are going to improve. That's how knowledge and understanding and everything is going to grow, is when you start doing things for others that helps and affects and brings up other people. And the last thing that I'll say is that Dr. Kandel expressed something that you guys know I'm extremely passionate about. I made a whole vlog for those of you who want to see it. Go down and check out the one it was an inspirational vlog. That you are a scientist, no matter if you are not involved in science, if you don't like science classes or whatever it is. You are a scientist. And Dr. Kandel said something in his answering people's questions that reinforced that idea. He said, you know what? A lot of people think, there's certain projects that are worthwhile doing that people just don't do. He says, for him, Dr. Kandel, he says, for me, I love the distinction between art and science. I love it. I feel they are deeply intertwined. Because art and music, whether it be visual art or music or theater or however the art is put forth, it generates emotions in you. It can motivate you to go throughout your day and do things and to see new things and to completely change your mood. He says art can have a tremendous effect on our brains, okay, and the rest of our being, but especially as a neuroscientist, he's thinking about the brain. He says, I'd love to see a project where someone looks at the difference that a piece of Mozart can have on people. Because some people, it does nothing. It does nothing for them, okay? But some people, it can just lift them up and lift their day. Why is that difference there? Why does it happen, okay? And he says, and I love intertwining art and science together because he says, I find a lot of artists were experimental in their approach, while many scientists are very artistic in how they view their projects. He says, I've met some scientists that talk about their projects like they have a visual aesthetic to them, that they're visually beautiful, that they're poetic, that they're this, that they're that, and they use more art terms than they do any scientific terms. He says, that should not be discouraged in the scientific community. That's a beautiful thing. And he said, I'd love to see it. And someone posed the question, Jim, well, who's going to fund that project? As a scientist, a lot of scientists are worried about funding. The National Institute of Health isn't going to fund it necessarily. The National Science Foundation isn't necessarily. Who's going to fund it? And I think it's a worthwhile question to ask, but I think that we can think outside of the box as the scientific community. Why not ask the Met in New York if they want to fund a project like this? Okay? Why not reach out to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra to ask them if they want to engage in a neuroscience project to study about music affecting mood, emotion, and the brain. Why not approach it like from that angle too? There's a whole world still out there to discover. And Dr. Kandel at 89 is still throwing out these ideas like it's nobody's business. Okay? It is just amazing to see how he views things and how he sees the future of science. And I think it was a good kick in the pants for everyone there to think, yeah, that's the future. That's what we have to see. The interconnectedness between different fields, the interconnectedness between people. And that is an exciting prospect. And that is, I gotta say, he spoke for an hour, answered questions for about half an hour, okay? And this limited interaction with this individual had this tremendous impact on me. And I hope that you got something out of this, whether it's something you learned, something you're inspired by. Go out and act on it. Go out and do something with it, because that is what Dr. Kandel would want more than anything in the world, and that is what I implore you to do. He is such a motivation to see him up there talking, full of energy, full of life. It empowers me in my day and what I'm doing to go out and do just that and empower other people. And I hope that this vlog has inspired you to do something. And with that, we're gonna cut off part 2 of this week's vlog. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for everyone who made it through both videos. I hope sincerely that you got something, that you learned something, that you're inspired by something to go out into your week, your month, whenever, however long. To go out and be curious about what it is that you're seeing in your everyday life, because curiosity is what drives us to do everything. And with that, please be kind to others and remember to be kind to yourself. We're closing off the vlog, and I will see you guys next time.